Your feet are older than your face. Right now. Not by much, but it's true. And it's not a metaphor, it's physics. You walk around assuming time is one thing, running the same way everywhere, including inside your own body. One drum beat, and every part of you dancing to it together. Head, heart, hands, feet, all in the same now. All aging together at the same rate. That assumption feels so obvious you've never even had to state it out loud. It's wrong. And the way it's wrong is one of the strangest, most quietly beautiful facts I know. Here's the thing. Now isn't a universal drumbeat. Time is local. It responds to where you are. Not where you are on a map, where you are relative to mass, relative to gravity. And that means something as ordinary as your height changes how fast time moves for different parts of you, this instant, while you're sitting there reading this. Let me explain the actual mechanism, because I don't want to just wave my hands at you. Gravity in the Einstein picture isn't the force reaching out and yanking things toward each other the way we were taught in grade school. It's a curve. Mass bends the fabric of space-time around it, and things moving through that bent fabric follow the curve. That's what gravity is. And here's the part that matters for you specifically. The stronger the gravity, the more that bending slows down the passage of time nearby. That's called gravitational time dilation, and it's not speculative, it's measured, repeatedly, with extraordinary precision. Your feet are closer to the Earth's center than your head is, closer to the mass, which means your feet sit in very slightly stronger gravity than your head does. And stronger gravity means time runs very slightly slower down there. Your feet at this exact moment are ticking through time marginally slower than your skull. We're not guessing at this. Physicists have built optical clocks so precise they can detect a time difference between 2 points just 1 centimeter apart in height. 1 centimeter. That's smaller than the length of your fingernail, and the clocks can still tell the difference. So the gap between your head and your feet? Real, measurable, confirmed. And it's not just head versus feet. That's just the easiest way to picture it. Every organ in your body is technically a slightly different distance from Earth's center, sitting in a slightly different gravitational field, which means every organ is, in the strictest sense, its own clock. Your heart, your brain, the tips of your fingers right now, however you're holding this, each one ticking at an infinitesimally different rate, all at once, inside the one body you think of as a single unified you. Now, I want to be honest with you about scale, because I could tell you all this and let you imagine some dramatic effect, and that would be a lie by exaggeration, and I don't like those any more than lies by omission. The actual difference between the aging rate of your head and your feet over an entire human lifetime adds up to something on the order of tens of nanoseconds, billionths of a second, total, across 80, 90 years of life. You will never feel this. You will never notice it. No clock you own at home could ever catch it. The honest smallness of the number is actually part of what makes this interesting to me, because something can be true, rigorously, precisely true, and still be completely undetectable in ordinary life. And here's the paradox that I think is the real heart of this whole thing. Something so microscopically tiny happening inside your own body is direct walking around proof of one of the strangest ideas humans have ever had about the universe. That space and time aren't separate stages the universe performs on. They're woven together into one single fabric, space-time. And mass reaches into that fabric and bends it. And clocks, real clocks, atomic clocks, and yes, the biological clock of your own aging cells answer to that bending, whether they know it or not. You are not just a person having a normal day. You are, right now, an ongoing experimental confirmation of general relativity. Nobody asked your permission. It's just true, running quietly in the background of every second you've ever lived. And gravity's not even the whole story. Here's the part most people never even hear about. Motion does this, too. Special relativity tells us that anything moving relative to something else experiences time differently as well, not because of gravity, just because of relative speed. So even while you're sitting completely still, feeling like nothing in you is moving at all, your blood is pumping, cells are shifting, tiny internal motions are happening constantly, and every one of those tiny relative motions is adding its own separate infinitesimal layer of time dilation on top of the gravitational one. You're not running one clock experiment inside your body. You're running millions, layered on top of each other, all slightly out of sync, all the time. Now, I want to be straight with you about where our understanding actually stops, because that's the part that keeps this honest instead of turning it into a magic trick. We understand why this happens with incredible precision. General relativity and special relativity are two of the most rigorously tested theories human beings have ever produced. Decades of experiments, satellite measurements, atomic clocks flown on airplanes, all confirming these effects again and again. This isn't shaky ground. But here's where the flaw actually runs out. We don't have a complete theory that unifies how gravity bends time at the scale of your whole body with what's happening quantum mechanically inside your cells at that exact same moment. General relativity handles gravity and large-scale space-time beautifully. Quantum mechanics handles the tiny probabilistic world inside atoms beautifully. But when you try to make them describe the same reality at the same time cleanly, they don't fully agree on what time even is at the smallest scales. That seam, that unresolved edge where our two best theories in physics stop shaking hands, it's still open, genuinely unsolved. And I'd rather tell you that plainly than pretend physics has this fully wrapped up, because it doesn't. And the not knowing is honestly the more interesting part. So let's pull back and look at what this actually means for how you think about yourself. The version of you that you carry around in your head, one solid person, moving through one solid present moment, a single continuous now, that picture isn't quite right. You're a collection of trillions of cells, and each one, in the strictest physical sense, is its own slightly separate clock, ticking at its own marginally different rate, depending on gravity, depending on motion, depending on exactly where it sits in your body at any given instant. And yet somehow, all of those trillions of slightly mismatched clocks cohere into the single unified experience of being one person, living through one moment, right now, reading these words. That coherence isn't something physics guarantees you. Nothing in the equations demands that trillions of infinitesimally different timelines should feel from the inside like one smooth, continuous you. But they do. Every second, without you asking, without you noticing, your body is quietly stitching together millions of almost but not quite synchronized clocks into the singular sensation of simply existing right now in this one moment. And that's where I want to leave you. Not with a clean answer, because I don't think this deserves one. Even in the stillest moment you could possibly create, sitting perfectly still, holding your breath, trying as hard as you can to freeze yourself in place, time inside you is still splitting. Your head aging marginally faster than your feet. Gravity pulling at every cell slightly differently based on where it happens to sit. Motion inside you, blood and electricity and chemistry layering on its own separate dilations on top of the gravitational ones, all happening at once, all the time, forever, without pause, without permission, and without you ever in your entire life being able to feel a single moment of it happening. You are not one moment. You never were. You're millions of them somehow, agreeing to call themselves one.